I'm gonna say that one more time for the people in the back. God broke me down in order to be able to build me up. And it was the best breakdown that ever could have happened for me, man. Yo! Welcome back to part 3 of this testimony. Let's just pick up where we left off and let's just keep the story rolling. I hope you guys are staying with me. This is just a continuation of the LA story, the LA journey. Again, remember, just recap how I grew up. Didn't grow up with God in my life. Had very much so egotistical moments where I didn't take opportunities. Found myself losing my third car, working a factory job, 10-hour shifts, third shift from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. I got on a plane, booked a flight on November 15th and landed in San Diego November 18th, and God showed up. If you haven't heard, go back to the other videos. They'll pop up on the screen somewhere at the end of the screen and check out those videos. All right, so boom. So now we are here. We made it past getting back to the car, right? We got back to DJ's car. It's a BMW 650i convertible. We ended up going shopping that day, and things started to happen really fast. This was a new opportunity for me. I got caught up in the mix, right? I'm sorry, y'all. Look at my lips so hard. I feel like I look at my lips mad hard, bro. So things started to move fast. Again, DJ got a BMW. The head of the house, Kev got a Maserati. Like, they're in the Navy. They're making, pretty good money. I ain't gonna say decent, pretty good money to be living in this house, to be driving the cars that they're driving. And I'm little old dude. I came here with $800 officially, like, in my pockets or whatnot. And so, bro, to live in California with that much amount of money it doesn't work. Like, unless you have God, you hear me? Like, that's the only way that this the only way that works. And so I end up, like I said, I get caught up in the mix. They didn't have little parties. They inviting shorties over. They drink. I don't drink, but I smoke. So I'm like, take me to the dispensary. What? Like, that's the first thing I get to do is take me to a dispensary, dog. I want to legally buy my tree. So that's what we did. You get the all of those things, and so you get to spending money rather quickly without accounting for it, like without taking account for it. And so, like I say, I got caught up in that, and so. Well, before I know it, I'm sitting here with a couple dollars in my pocket, right? And this is, when I say fast, I mean in the matter of like 3 days. So 3 days go by, and in the midst of these 3 days, this is definitely still a testimony. In the midst of these 3 days go by, and this amount of 3 days, because of the hospitality that was being shown to me, my way of returning that is my mom taught me to be like, if you are in somebody else's presence, you're in somebody else's stuff, like house or whatever, you take after yourself, you clean up, you be responsible, things of that nature. And so these are all they were all pretty young individuals in the house except for Kev. Kev is the lease holder of the apartment. He got this house and he's renting out rooms to people, right? So everybody he's renting out a room to is around my age. Well, at that time was my age group, 18 to 25, right? Kev is 35, I wanted to say at that time. And so he was much more older, and so, he respect other things. And so when he would notice, previously there would be dishes in the house when he would come home. When I was there was no dishes. Like, I'm cleaning up dishes. I'm cleaning up after people. They had introduced, food to me. Hawaiian barbecue, right? Hawaiian barbecue, chorizos, chilaquiles, just a bunch of different Hispanic foods and Hawaiian barbecue food, style food, Asian foods, and Korean barbecue. And they were just treating me to, all of these things or whatnot. So for me, I wanted to go and cook. I like food. And so I wanted to cook for them, and I wanted them to have, something that came from me. And so Kev would come home and it's like, yo, nigga, I've been here, da-da-da-da. I'm used to getting here, having to find out what I'm going to eat. That's a full cooked meal. I made sure it was enough for everybody. It's extras. He really took to that. So Kev is seeing me cook. Kev is seeing me clean. Kev is seeing me straighten up, in the living rooms, everything. And so he, without saying anything to me, he's noticing these things, right? And so 3 days go by, and I'm sitting here on the couch, and I'm like, okay, one, I've been here for too long. I'm starting to feel like I don't want nobody to feel like I'm taking advantage of this situation of a situation between us, right? And so I'm like, yeah, this can't go on too much longer. Like I gotta figure out how to get up out of here. But I did spend a lot of my bread, right? So I'm like, damn, like bro, you shooting yourself in the foot, man. And so I remember a clear as day. I'm sitting here on the couch. I'm in such deep thought, and Kev come in, right? And when Kev come in from his shift on the boat, come into the house, Kev walk up the stairs, and then Kev walk back down the stairs, like a backward step. You know the dance that everybody doing today, and they reversing. He did one of those. He reversed back down the stairs, and he was just like,
yo, DJ was telling me about your situation. He's just like, I see what you're doing around the house. I don't got much, but I got that couch. Like, if you want to, you want to stay there till you figure things out, like, the couch is yours.
And I was like, yo, like, thank you. Like, that really meant a lot to me. I'm just like, thank you, bro. Like, I really appreciate that. And so he just went on upstairs. That allowed me to get into a flow of things. And so, boom. The next day, he asked me,
how do you feel? What you want to do?
I was just like, I'm going to take the opportunity. I appreciate you. He's like,
all right, it's a couch. It's not a room. I'm not going to charge you like I'm charging them. I'm charging them $1,000 or whatnot. But he's like, you are using lights, gas, water. So I got to ask you for something.
And I'm like, bro, whatever you need is like, I'm going to make it happen, right? And so he's like,
how did 200 sound?
And so I'm like, perfect. Like, I get to live in this house. Like, yeah, I'm on a couch, but nobody know I'm living on the couch inside. Like, I get to live in this house for $200. Like, man, bro, yes, thank you. And so the first month, they helped me get my license when I first got there, and then they helped me get food stamps when I got there. And so the first month, I don't think he charged me the first month. I think he said, like, after this month, like, I'm gonna give you a month to like get on your feet, to get some work or something like that, get a job, and then from there, following it, you can do $200 a month. I'm like, bad. So all I could think of was it just popped up. It's like Uber, especially after I got my license. I forgot who car I used, but I used somebody's car and I got my license. So I'm just like, well, I didn't need to take a test. I didn't need to drive. I just needed to get down there and take the actual test. And so I did that, pass. In California, they got to mail you your license, so it took some time to come. I think they're doing that now, but I think they had just started it because in Cleveland, you can just, once you're done, you can go pick it up. And so, pass, I get my license, and I'm just like, all right, like, I'm finally a California resident, right? That allows for me to get my license. So once I get my license, I'm like, all right. I was like, I'm going to look for gigs because I didn't want to ask one of the homies if I can use their car to drive for Uber. Now, DJ has a two-door car, and so you can't do rides with that, with the BMW. So I couldn't do rides with that car, so I'm just like, damn, I don't want to ask DJ for the car. Kev have a Maserati, but then he also has an Infiniti in the garage that, like, if he don't want to put miles on his Mazzy, he'll hop in the Infiniti or whatnot. And I wanted to really ask him to use it, but it was just like, it just felt so wrong. So I was just like, I don't know what to do. Maybe I just started looking for gigs. And I just was like, I don't know. It was like the spirit just led me to like filling out the application for Uber to like transfer a city and everything. And so for whatever reason, man, was in the app just messing around. And then I was like, it was like, I seen this new option. It said add vehicle or add rental, right? So I was like, oh, I can add a rental. Like, son, that's going to really help me out. And so there was like 3 options for rentals. There was an hourly rental, there was a daily rental, and there was a weekly rental or something like that, right? And so the hourly rental was this new program. It was called Get Around. If you are familiar with it, then you know. But if not, I just probably put up a logo. So I might put up a logo the Get Around app. And so it was a way. So Get Around was brand new. And they were offering you a free 12-hour voucher to use one of their get-around cars to drive with Uber. And so them and Uber had came together and joined in or whatnot. And so I was like, yo, so you had to go into the Uber hub to go get the voucher. So I had to go get the voucher. So I had to get on the bus. I got on the bus, went down, I forgot where it was, but to the Uber green light offices, and I got the voucher, and I was just like, I was holding on to the voucher. I got this voucher on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and I was like, I'm just gonna wait. No, it was like a Tuesday. I'm like, I'm gonna wait to go get this on to use the voucher on Friday, right? So I'm gonna drive because it was 12 hours. Like I'm gonna drive from Friday like 8 or 9 o'clock to Saturday 8 or 9 o'clock. I'm like, I'm doing a straight 12 hours, bro, and I wanted to get the most bang for my buck. So I knew to do it on the weekend because that's when that's when I made the most money back in Cleveland. And so, boom, I drive, make like anywhere, I want to say, I don't remember specifically, but I want to say it was anywhere between $250 to $350 on this one day of this 12 hours of driving I had made. I was just like, son, like it was up from there. It was like, this is what I'm doing. I got my way. I found my way. And then, so Saturday come, I go back to the crib after driving 12 hours. I rest up. I get ready to go back out there the weekend. So with that car, with the hourly rental, you got to take it back to its spot. So I had to take the car to wherever I picked it up. This car can be, it can be up the street. It can be around the corner. It can be downtown. It can be in uptown. It can be in west side, east side. It can be anywhere. You got to get to the car to use the car, and you got to drop it off at that same location. So I would drop off the car, I'll go pick it up, I drop it off, and then I would get on the bus to go back to the crib, right? At that time, so early on, I was still having DJ car, and DJ would be at work, and I would go pick him up. So I would drive his car. When I started, I would drive his car to go pick up the car, park his car, get in their cars, and then go drive for a couple hours until DJ got off of work, getting ready to get off of work. I'd get back in his car and go pick him up. And I did that for a while until DJ started going to work because he was using a lot of gas. He was like, he started going to work with Kev or with some of the homies from who didn't stay on the boat. So he would go to work with them, and so I wasn't driving his car, so I had to get on the bus. So I'm getting up every day. I'm getting on the bus. I'm walking 15 minutes to the bus stop to get on the bus to take me downtown San Diego to pick up a car. From there, I would, do my 6 to 8 hours. No, I was doing like 8 to 10 hours, anywhere between 6 to 10 hours. It depended on the day, for real. How much, like, I was trying to spend the least amount of money to make the most amount of money, right, per hour, so that I could save and rack up. The goal was to get to weekly rentals. So that was the goal. And so, boom, 2 months go by, 2.5 months go by, and when I tell y'all, no, it was a month and 3 weeks. It was my last week in LA. I finally had, because you needed to have a deposit and you need to pay your first and second month for the car. So I needed like $800, $900 to put down on this car to be able to get the weekly rental car, right? I finally had that saved up, still paying my rent for the months or whatnot, helping around or whatnot. And so I had that $900 saved up. $700 to $900 saved up, and then from there I got into the weekly rental. I finally got my weekly rental, right? So now I don't have to spend money for just a couple of hours. What I paid for that car weekly, I was spending in the hourly rate, right? But I wasn't keeping the car. So when you break it down, when you deduce it to just on a daily matter, it was about the same thing, but I only had the car for 8 hours. Now I get to keep the car. Now it's my car. I just pay for it weekly, and I keep it, and I keep going about my business. I don't got to turn it in. I get to come back to the house at the end of the night. So I remember when I finally got that, I hadn't told nobody, and they was just like, who car is that outside? And I'm like, man, boy, yeah. One thing about me, man, is when I can see a vision, I'm gonna do my best to see it through, and I'm gonna do what I say I'm gonna do, And so I really appreciate them. Look out for me, boosting me, helping me out. I was my boy Mike, who stayed in there. I had brought him on board with like some acting background work and stuff, and so we would like I was about to get on the train and go up to LA. And Mike like, bro, I got family up here. I need to go see you. Like, I drive you. So Mike ended up driving me up to LA. We on set. It was mad cool, like mad dope experiences, you know. So like I went up to LA a couple times while I was there, still pursuing, trying to get right with the acting and the background work and all of that and stuff. And so when they seen the car, they was like, yo, that's what's up. Like, I see you moving. Like, especially Kev. Kev really respected it, you know, being the old head. And so, yeah, so basically my whole time was, you know, BSing around, getting my license and getting my food stamps. The next month and 3 weeks, I was just working. Getting on the bus, trying to save up, also paying Kev, you know, what he was asking for me, and just trying to, you know, put myself in a position to get up to LA, because that was the end goal. End goal was to get up to LA. So that last week that I was in San Diego, the day that I got my car, y'all. The day that I got my car, and so it was like on a Wednesday, and it was to be renewed next Wednesday. That next Wednesday, Kev got hit with news where he had literally just completed his 16 years in the Navy, and so at that point in time, he was eligible to come off the boat and to go on land. But for him to go on land, like to work a job on land and not be working on the ships, the boats or whatnot in the Navy, he had to go to another state, and so Kev had to move to Florida to finish his last 4 years before he can like retire and everything inside of the Navy with all of his benefits. And so it was that Wednesday that I was due to renew my car, but God had gave me the opportunity to be in that car. And so literally I worked that whole week, you know, everything good. I was already paid up. Everybody getting their stuff, and you know, DJ went to the boat. The other two, Mike, I think he had found him a roommate. Then there was a couple who was staying there as well. Felix and his girl was staying there. That day come, everybody end up going their own ways, and I was just so grateful because God had gave me. He had put me in his car, and so now I can go up to LA. I wasn't gonna be in San Diego stranded trying to figure out what my next move was. I knew what my move was. Like, all right, bet you gave me exactly what I needed to go, and let's head up to LA. And so that's exactly what I did. I started to head up to LA, and just as how good God is, man. When I tell y'all, I'm on the app, and during that time you can set the destination to where it is that you were going, right? So I can set my destination to go home, right? So if I was on the west side and I stayed on the east side, I can put my destination to the east side so that if I was ready to go home, I can start to get trips along going back towards the east side. In this instance, I was going to LA from San Diego, so I put Los Angeles as my destination. And so, man, I'm just driving, not expecting, I'm expecting to get maybe, you know, some small rides here and there, you know, just to make some money on my way going up so that, you know, I can go there with, you know, still with however much bread I can get. It was always work. It was work. And so when I tell y'all, bro, that I got to the point, I had got a ride with this young lady. I remember like it was yesterday. Her family was like well off a little bit, and she had, you know, got into like some drug problems or whatnot, like not like coke or anything, like a lot of the drugs that the young affluent kids take, you know. And so she was leaving one rehab center to go to this really nice rehab center, and the nice rehab center happened to be in like Palm Springs or something like that. So the trip ended up being, bro, like I want to say like it was over $100 to pick her up to go in the direction that I was already going. I'm just like, God, like ain't no way, bro. There's no way you just steady looking out for me. Like I already feel blessed because I had just got the car, and I'm like, boom, you blessed me with the car. So now I can, you know, make my way up to LA. If anything, I can sleep in my car. You know, the same stories that I was hearing. So like I wasn't worried. I wasn't scared no more. You feel me? And so I pick up Shorty. Me and her, you know, we was in the car for a long time. We ended up having a really good conversation. I got to tell her my story, tell her about God. That was one of the first instances where it was just like, I started to notice later on how my rides were impactful, how I was impacting people in my rides with just my presence, my personality, just being alive, lively, and vivacious, being a God-fearing man, you know, and just sharing that testimonies with people and stuff. That is my whole San Diego trip in a nutshell. That's the testimony of San Diego. So last couple videos you heard about like just my upbringing and how I was raised. Then you heard the actual testimony. You heard how I had to overcome my ego. That was the thing that God did. So in essence, all of this is to explain that God broke me down to build me up. I'm gonna say that one more time for the people in the back. God broke me down in order to be able to build me up. And it was the best breakdown that ever could have happened for me, man. He is the potter and we are the clay. And I am so grateful. I'm so grateful for him to not have forsaken me or to giving up on me, living very worldly or whatnot. As the story continues, as I get to LA, it's a whole nother journey. And so this is the introduction to God and to my life. And this is how I know that God is real and why I serve him to this day. He continued to show himself real day in and day out as I committed to him. The more I committed to him, the more he committed to me. And so it's been a beautiful journey. I told y'all the first thing, the main thing that we're going to be talking about is all things God. All things God. That's what we're going to be talking about for sure. It's going to be all things God. Then you got finance, and you got living a better life, and then you got like just grooming tips and just being a man and all of those good things. But first thing first, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, it's going to always be the guiding force, the northern star, you know, in my life. And so I just am completely grateful for him. I hope I don't forget I hope I haven't forgotten anything. I think that's pretty much it. And I really hope this story has impacted you enough to share it. Just to get you to be a little less fearful and a little bit more fearless, and to trust in him, and to take a leap of faith, and to move on the things that you feel led to move and to do, and you feel encouraged because you know that God will show up in your life. Yes, it's scary. Yes, it can be a trembling place. Yes, it can be nerve-wracking. You can be biting your nails. You can be clueless. You can be very fearful of the unknown. I don't know what's on the other side of this. I don't know what to expect. Y'all, I left Cleveland, Ohio. This is Midwest. The next states over from Cleveland is Pennsylvania, and then New York, bro. And then to the other side is like Michigan and Chicago. Like, I was on this side of the world, and literally California is the last state of the United States on the West Coast. I left from here and went all the way over here in a matter of 3 days, and God showed up for me. And God showed up for me, y'all. He didn't just show up, he showed out, man. And I really pray that you take this and you use this, man, to do something that you feel called to do, something that you know that God created you to do. Go impact somebody's life, go be great, and then come back and share with us. You know, share it with this community, share it with your fellow angels and your fellow saints. And again, that's not a sex term. It's not saints is men, angels is women. Sometimes I'm an angel, sometimes I'm a saint. The word says be not be careful, but it says something about like you never know when you're entertaining angels. When you're entertaining a stranger, you may be entertaining an angel. That's a word in Hebrews. I'm gonna pop it up somewhere. And so you just never know who you come into contact with, man. You may think it's a person, but God may have sent an angel on your path. And so, the last thing I'm gonna leave y'all with. You are called to do something, and you are holding back everybody who's supposed to receive from you until you go and do what you're supposed to do. And so, until you do that, those people can't do what they are called to do or they're supposed to be doing. So don't stop holding people back. Your story is not your story. Get on here, share your story. Spread it with as many people as God want to spread it with. If this is one person, man, it's gonna be really amazing for me. I also have a podcast with one of my guys, Cool, and it's called One Life. And the premise of that podcast is, if we could save one life, it was worth it. So you don't ever know who your story can help. It can help just one person. It can help 10 people, 100, 1,000, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people. You never know. Tens of millions of people, hundreds of millions of people, 1 billion people. You never know, bro. But you gotta go tell the story for it to be able to come out. On that note, it's RSP. I'm signing out. Hey, love y'all from the bottom of my heart. Let's keep growing. Gang, gang, gang. Peace.